Hey, I'm two Sylvanians and I make videos about Sylvanian families, also known as Calico critters. And today I will be unboxing a new family. These are the Sunflower Hamsters. These were released in Japan in June as the third ever Sylvanian hamster family, but the only ones currently in production. I bought them from Kobee Japan and showed them in my recent haul video, and I'm excited to open them today. So this is the main family and the only members of it so far. We've got the mum, the three babies and the father, and they come with this sunflower themed pram. Their outfits are very spring and summer like, and I just think they look really cute. I think this shows that one of the babies has its cheeks full like real hamsters do, and he has a bit more of a puffed out cheeks. So the box is just a straightforward Japanese one. It did get a little bit bashed in the post, but that's fine as it's nothing special and I'll be opening them today. We've got the family here and the story. And this shows that it was made this year in 2025. It's just the epoch information on the bottom. And yeah. Let's get them open. So I'll slice through here. And we've got some instructions to put together the pram. This is hamster family. This is the leaflet that comes with all of the figures, or all the families now. It has their names, obviously this one's written in Japanese, and the rest of their story with some cute little pictures. Family all nice and neat in here, though Penny is facing off to one side, so I think we'll get them out. I'll speed through this. We've got the parents, there's all the babies, and let's see, there we go, and I'll just get them all nice. So here's our family. I'll just bring the camera down a touch. There, that's at their eyeline better. I'm actually going to start with the pram. So this is sort of a basket shape with moulded wicker design on that goes on the bottom as well and inside. And yeah, I think it kind of looks like wicker. There's a handle obviously to push it along, and these two wheels are functional. It's got a small one on the front and a large one at the back, which looks like the sunflower, and I think we'll see that motif throughout the whole family. There are two holes, I think, so the sunflowers can go in either one. It's a bunch of 3 flowers, and they're on the green stems with some little leaves as well. And they've even got the back part here. They are nice, and they can go on either side, I think. So yeah, just wedge it in there. All the way in. We want to put the babies in the basket, so let's take a look at them in turn. So this one is more of the sort of peachy colour. Actually no, let's look at the adults first to look at the different fur. So there are 2 different colourways for this family, with the girls I think having the sort of pale peachier colour, and all of the boys in the family being white with orange. So there are the 2 differences. I don't know if these are modelled after specific sorts of hamsters and if those come in different colourways. To be honest, I thought that hamsters were all mostly pale brown. So this is Penny, and she's the mother figure in this family. I like her outfit a lot. Her dress is very pretty with lots of sort of floral and lace. It's got nice white up here, and the lace sort of forms the sleeves of the dress. She has a cute sunflower kind of badge with a tiny dark brown button in the middle. Yellow ribbon bow, and this is meant to look like 2 layers, but it's just sewed together. So we've got a pretty yellow gingham and this nice floral underneath, which kind of reminds me of a Liberty print, and it does indeed have some sunflowers on, I think, to go with their name. This is all one piece and it just does up with Velcro at the back. And she has a little kind of stumpy tail. I think this is quite like the Buckley deer family and some of the other figures in Sylvanian range. She is the pale brown peachy colour all the way under, except for at the top of her ears, which are kind of dipped in dark brown. They've got a cute little fluted design on the back, kind of like how the chocolate rabbit's isn't straight across either. I think she has a very friendly looking face. She's definitely smiling and got a cute little pink nose. The face is quite flat, but it's got a little nose ant there. So that's Penny Sunflower. And she comes with Toby, who is their father figure. Now they obviously look quite different. So I think how this is done is Toby is a white figure and then they paint on this orange colour. It feels quite rough, like generally the painted parts are, but it's not quite as rough as, say, the maple cats. I wonder if maybe they've kind of improved the process for painting the figures, as it can be quite disconcerting to have a lovely soft figure like Penny with a rougher one like Toby. Another difference that I can spot is that Toby's inner ears are white to Penny's pink, and obviously the bodies underneath are a different colour as well. Toby's outfit is all one piece, yeah. It's got a pale yellow shirt, some green gingham trousers with a dark brown cummerbund between them, and then he also has one of the little sunflowers with a dark brown button, sort of as a kind of bolo tie, I think it's called. Might just untuck these petals to go in front of his collar. Yeah, now you can see it better. He has the same type of tail, and that looks quite funny between the orange down to the stark white. But yeah, that goes sort of halfway down his face with the kind of muzzle shape, I guess. And you can kind of see that this is definitely a layer on top. It's a little bit thicker on top of the white. His ears also have the fluted pattern, just like Nora's. I think his look a bit darker because it's over the orange paint. They look lovely together, both with gingham and the obvious sunflower embellishments on both. And while they do have different fur colours, I think their moulds are the same. Both quite flat looking, but with a little pointy nose. And together, these two have 3 triplets so far. The newborn babies never want to stand up. I suppose it's like real infants. These 3 babies are called Sam, Upton and Nora, and they're all slightly different from one another. So starting with Sam, this is a boy triplet and he's wearing a pale yellow outfit. His hand just needs to come through this hole there. And obviously the main thing is that he is holding a little sunflower seed. This is actually a bead that's attached to the outfit, but from the right angle, it kind of looks like he's holding it. Usually it's very tricky to make the babies hold anything, so I suppose this is quite a nice, neat way of doing it. Sam looks very like his father, with the white underlayer and orange painted head with dark brown tips. That kind of goes round to the same point. And they've also got the fluted design. So his body is probably white as well. Yep. And then this romper is made out of the usual tricot fabric, which is what the usual baby rompers are made out of. And that's just elasticated at the top and bottom with some little holes cut out for the arms to go through. It can be kind of puffy if you get it at the right angle, but Sam is very cute. Oops. So here is Sam and Toby looking very cute. I think the painting is a little bit rough on Sam. I can just see a sort of extra bit there. Let's see. Not sure. So yeah, definitely similar face painting, just on a much smaller figure with Sam. And maybe it's not quite exactly the same for the last kind of scoopy part. Or maybe it's just that one goes quite far up compared to the flatness of that. Yeah. Sam's nose isn't quite as pointy out. Maybe that's something that they develop as they get older. The yellows are also quite a similar colour, so I think this is definitely a daddy's boy. The next figure is our only girl triplet. This is Nora Sunflower. She is wearing an orange romper, which looks exactly the same as her brother's, with the sunflower beads in the middle of the two armholes. I have now just pulled her arms out of those holes. There we go. To me, the orange is quite bright and looks almost like a sort of pumpkin Halloween costume, which I suppose makes sense for this time of year. Nora is that peachy colour again and is very soft on top. Sam is, yeah, it's definitely rough, but not quite as bad as the Maple Cats. And Nora, I think, looks obviously the most similar to her mum. They're both the same peach colour, except for the brown on the tip of their ears. I suppose Penny has the orange in her dress as well. And our final figure, I think, is the most unique of the triplets. So this is Upton or Upton. I'm not quite sure on the English translation of his Japanese name just yet. But Upton is another boy, so it has the orange painted head. And he's wearing blue, but the outfit is obviously otherwise very similar to his brother and sister. But Upton is described as being a very hungry boy, and he has an adorable face which has kind of puffed out cheeks. So this is a different mould to the rest of the family, and it really does look quite different. Maybe this way you can really kind of see how puffed out they are compared to that. I feel like Upton is also a slightly darker orange. I think it's picking up on camera, but that's interesting. And actually, yeah, Upton definitely feels rougher. So maybe he's had like 2 coats of paint rather than 1, or a thicker one. I'm not sure how the production works for the figures. I think Upton's chubby cheeks are adorable, and it really fits into his character, as well as making sure that the triplets aren't all identical. Because compared to, say, the marshmallow mice, where there's 3 babies but they all look identical, same as the Flora rabbits, it can look a little bit boring, whereas these are more unique and you can definitely tell which baby you have immediately just by looking at them. So these three should be able to fit in the pram together. So I think if we stand them up, yeah, there we go. They all fit nice and stood up. They probably wouldn't fit lying down, so maybe it's just a bed for one baby at a time. They can roll along like that, and I guess if we get one of the parents, then they can push. Cute. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the sunflowers are actually the third hamster family that Sylvanian Families have released. The first ones were the Hamiltons. These originally came out in 2004 as a Japanese Sylvanian market exclusive, and I remember when they were then released in the UK in 2006 under Flare. These hamsters kind of remind me of the old mouse mould, like the Thistlethorns and Hazelwoods. I don't know if they are the same, as I don't own any of the Hamilton family, but they look that way from pictures. The biographies of this family say they work at the stables. Obviously this was before we got the anthropomorphic horses in Sylvania. And they also have a cousin called Kirsty who does show jumping on her pony Jester. As an interesting aside, when the Hamilton family were released by Calico Critters in North America, they were called the Hawthorns, which in the UK was the name of this white mouse family. And they also got a different version where the figures wore these darker outfits. The second hamster family were the Goldbacks, which came out in 2013 in Japan, and in the UK under Flare again a year later. They have a unique mould with smaller ears than the Hamiltons, so do read as less mousy to me. This family also have an odd naming history, as when Epoch re-released them in the UK, their names changed to Hamilton, which makes even less sense to me than the Calico Critters Hawthorn rename, so I'm definitely calling them Goldbacks. In this family, the adults work at the nursery, so the mum is a teacher and the dad drives the nursery bus. They also came in a trio in North America, where they were called the Fluffy Hamster family, so who knows what their real name is. I don't have the full family, but I do own the twins and a baby. So this is my standing baby, Mickey Goldback. I have changed his outfit, so he's now wearing purple rather than the original yellow. And he definitely looks similar to Penny. So they are both a kind of similar colour in the kind of pale brown peachiness with dark brown tipped ears, though Mickey's are straight across the back rather than fluted like the sunflowers. Mickey also has a cream teardrop shape on his muzzle. That's a little bit faded on this one, along with his pink nose. The mould also looks slightly different, whereas Penny's head is more of a triangle with kind of rounded cheeks. I would say that Mickey's is maybe a kind of squoval, a squared oval or rounded square shape. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the older Goldbacks, so I can't really compare like for like, but that's just my observations, and maybe someone who has the full Goldback family as well as Hamiltons could compare a bit better. For now, I think Mickey and his siblings are going to be honorary members of the Sunflower family, especially given that they look alike to Penny and Nora. So those are the new Sunflower family. I'm glad to own these as they are unique in my collection, and I like having at least one of each type of newborn as a mini goal within my collection. The Sunflower pram is lovely. It's quite small, but that's really good for my collection as I'm slowly running out of space. I also like the sunflowers. I forgot that the adults can actually hold the sunflowers. So here's a quick clip of Penny holding the sunflowers, and maybe Toby has given them her as a present. Or maybe she's picked some fresh to put in a vase. Currently, these figures are only available in Japan, but we're now on a kind of 9-month to 12-month delay for the rest of the world, so I would guess that these will be out in the UK and other places maybe spring 2026 or early summer. I think this family will be really popular, as the babies always are, but also I think hamsters are quite a common childhood pet, so maybe kids who have hamsters in real life would want to have a Sylvanian version as well. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you're into sunflowers and what you think of them, and we can chat about it in the comments. If you like Sylvanian Families content, then subscribe to my channel as I post videos all the time, including unboxings like this, as well as hauls and all the latest Sylvanian news.